Let's plant tomatoes! Woo! First thing we need to do is get our tomatoes out of the greenhouse. Look at these bad boys. They're so ready. So I've been trying to organise these tomato seed varieties as to how I'm going to place them in the garden. Has been a little bit of a fun task, I'm not going to lie. So I have 7 of these large stakes that I used last year for my indeterminates. And now that I've sorted them out, I've only actually got 5 indeterminate varieties that I'm growing this year. The cherry tomatoes are all indeterminates, but just these sort of big, more beefsteaky and the San Mazzanos. So I'm going to remove 2 of the stakes and space them out a little bit more, which is going to be fantastic. Then I've got 4 determinate varieties. So I'm going to put 1 per bed in the centre, like I did last year with the Romas, except for this Tasmanian chocolate, I'm going to put in the little alcove of this bed where the archway comes around, and we'll have the cherry tomatoes on it as well. Then I was going to put 5 varieties on the archways, but I'm actually just going to go 4 now. I do have this little mystery tomato which I have had no luck germinating. I'm now on my 3rd round, and I've actually just put all the seeds into the pot, and if they don't germinate well, then I've got time to sort of buy another packet from a different supplier. So one side's going to be those ones, and the other archway is going to be these. So a really pretty collection of colours. You've got your orange, black, pink and yellow, and then yellow, red. This one is different. And then this one's green. Now the Dr. Frost I was actually thinking was going to go over here, but then when I was looking up to see if it was indeterminate or determinate, it's actually a cherry tomato, so I'm going to put it on the archway. So here's how I've positioned the 5 stakes for the indeterminates. These are 6-foot stakes, and then I've just taken the bottom leaves off the cabbages just to give a little bit more space and some light down there when we actually get the tomatoes in. And then we're just going to fill up around them instead of just waiting to take these cabbages out. I'm not sure if these cabbages are going to get much bigger, much quicker, but let's just work around them. Instead of wasting time, we've got some hot days coming up, and it would just be best to get these tomatoes settled while we've got a couple of cooler days before they're going to get blasted with 2 days of heat. I also picked up another order from Veggies, so we've got plenty of product now to be able to fill the garden beds and also plant the potatoes. I often feel like our garage looks a little bit like one of Veggies' outlets because we have so many products in here at any one time. But that's exciting that we can get some things planted. So I think the best plan of attack is just to lay these all out where I've positioned them to go. I've got my little list of where I've decided everything is going. I've made a little bit of an error. I've got to do some swapping around with some of these. But I'll put these all in position and then we can start digging them in. I cannot tell you how exciting it is to finally see these tomatoes, even though they're not planted just yet, but in position. It is giving summer vibes. So I asked in my last video what people thought this window pane, stained glass window sort of look to these leaves might have been. Now that we're getting to the planting stage, I'm thinking that I might put them in a really, because I'm keeping them in quarantine, so put them in a really tall pot, and then I can remove all these leaves and just leave up to where the first flowers have started to develop and see whether that gets rid of this. It could have just been, from my research, some fertilizer or just change in weather temperatures that have just shocked them. It's the only variety that's had this. But as I said in my last video, there was a couple of other plants, just completely random other plants that had sort of a very similar look to them. So not sure what it is. But I think that that's probably a good solution to see if we can eradicate it. So this Sungold I'm going to plant in here. It's a little annoying because I had 2 extras. I've just checked my order of the brown ones, which are 7 gallons, and this is a 10-gallon from memory. And just having the lesser space to have to fill with so much potting mix would have been better, because I am going to have to go all the way up to the top of where the first set of flowers are and get rid of all these damaged leaves, and hopefully we can then eradicate. I don't think it's contagious from what I've read, but better to be safe than sorry. So I'll just get the best 2 planted in here, which I think are these 2. So you get 5 of these in, or 5 seeds in a packet. So clearly only 4 were successful. But that's better than last year where I had none that did anything. They did germinate, but they didn't get big enough. So these are our 2 that we're going to concentrate on. We're going to remove all those leaves underneath the flower and plant them deep into the soil and see if that will fix the problem. I'm going to do a mixture of some Coco Pith and some compost, I think, and see how far that gets us. You know, I'm just thinking maybe I should just plant all 4 of them, because what's the point of having these ones in quarantine? Like, I'm not going to know if they're going to infect anything, am I? So let's just pinch out all these, and we might as well just plant and just see what happens, hey? Hopefully this really good, high quality premium compost will give these guys a bit more strength as well to fight off if it was something bad in their system. And then I think we just top with some straw mulch. People, it's not mulch. Say it however you want to say it. I just think it's funny that I'd never seen how it was actually spelt before until I started to start the garden last year. And there's rain coming, so it will, oh my goodness, here it comes. It will do the job for me. Okay, bye. So while it's pouring with rain, I'm gonna do a quick little unboxing. Ooh, it smells delicious. Ooh, this is from Gatherer Forager. Thanks for supporting our small business. We really appreciate you choosing us, from Anne and Dame. All right, let's see what little goodies I got. I totally forgot what I had ordered, but now that I can smell it, I think I remember. Does that little guy give you any clues? We have got some organic dandelion chai tea and some organic coffee alternative, which is made with chicory roots and dandelion roots, and then some chocolate flowering broad beans, and some pixie blue alyssum, a mushroom latte blend honey, and this is Tasmanian honey that is off their farm. And lucky last, because I can't resist a good book, because I don't have enough in my life already, it's called Into the Weeds, and it is a how-to garden like a forager. And what got me on this was actually there was something about dandelion, and I was quite intrigued with how it was telling you how you can identify. Here it is, leaf study of a dandelion, and it tells you all these, gives you all these clues as to how you can identify things by how they feel and look, and yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. So that's my little package for today. Okay, we've got a quick break in the weather, and the storms are getting a lot more furious every time they come through, and a lot longer. So we're going to have to just work on this super fast. So basically, I'm just going to choose the best tomato out of each variety to plant. And as I was going to wait to build these beds up, because tomatoes like to be built up on with the soil, I'm just going to plant them as is, and then we can build the soil up once we take all the other bits and pieces out. So that's the plan anyway. Actually, even the cabbages, we can build the soil up around those. So this is probably going to be a little bit of a work in progress, but we've got some hot days coming up. So let's just get started with these. So we're going to start with the speckled Romans. I didn't have any luck with these last year, or last season, I should say. So it's between that one and this one. Let's go this one, even though it's got a wonky stem. And do we go on that side or do we go on this side of the stake? Maybe we could go in front. That's probably a better option, isn't it? Yeah, let's do that. Let's get a utensil as well. So I might possibly move this stake back then, so it's more about there. And then I can put the tomato in front of the stake. Might need to move it back even more, to be honest, but let's just get these guys, because time is definitely not on our side today. And I'm going to go as low as I possibly can, especially with this one because he's got such a wonky stem. Oh, it feels so good to get these in. Actually, I've got to keep remembering that we're still going to build this soil up even more, so that's probably pretty good now that I think about it. And a little carrot happening behind there, and then we'll just get rid of that little bit. And we have our first tomato in the ground, in its permanent space until the season ends. Oh, isn't this incredible? Now with these leftovers, I will put some fresh soil in them, and then I will gift a few of these actually. This one is the Costoluto Fiorentino. So I've got two good ones, but this one's a bit wonky. So let's go with that one on that side. And actually there's a couple of little tiny weeny babies in here also. So let's try not to disturb them. I'll just show you actually. So because I did put a few seeds in here, I've got a couple of little teeny tinies that have popped up. And then obviously these ones, so it's like the babies, the teenagers, and mum and dad at the back. Haha, that's funny. Let's use this little doobie whacker and see if we can try and separate. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I don't need to use it. Well, there's even like teeny tiny ones in there. I don't know if you can see that, if I'm in the right spot for the camera. 2 tomatoes. Done. Try and push that, turn it back in so he can keep growing. And then I might just do a little bit of a top up around these ones, seeing I've disturbed the soil. So this is the Principe Veggies, and I just have to remove this. I'm not sure if you can see, this would have been the Brussels sprouts, but it's got more growth coming off the side of it, and it's right in the way of me being able to plant this. So I'm just going to try and get it from a bit down lower so I don't completely take it out if I don't need to, but it's not looking promising. And this one's got tiny little pear-shaped or oval-shaped fruit appearing already. So this side we're putting in the yellow Roma, but we're going to have to take out some of these. Now you can see why some of these were going a little on the yellow side, because their roots are completely entwined. So they definitely needed to be given some extra space. So my phone died, but I have planted all the determinants now, and the weather is starting to get cool again, which is probably a sign that we're going to have another shower come through. So what have we here? Red cherry. That's in the wrong spot. What have I done? What was supposed to be here? What's this one? So red cherry is supposed to be one of the climbing ones. So, oops-a-daisy. Okay, San Marzano, I just checked my little notes. So, how I muddled that up. These ones are only teeny tiny because they're the ones that fell. So we're going to move this steak back first. And there's a Celtis here, but I'm not sure that we're going to use that or going to be able to use that. And the weather is fast turning. Skies have gone grey again. So I don't need a huge hole for this one because this one is still very much little plant itself. And by the time we build this soil up, we won't have much to play with. So we'll keep him pretty close. So we've just got the two at the back and then all of the cherry tomatoes on the archways to go. So we'll move this stake back also. And this one is going to be Jaune Flame. So who is our standout? Probably this one here in the corner. Probably should have watered these before I did this. Oh my goodness, look how packed in those roots are. Oh my goodness. Now I've lost which one I decided was the best one. Oh, hear that wind. This one's bigger over here, but it's got, a lot of them started to get a bit of leaf curl. So let's run with this one. Just take that leaf off, however. Okay, that guy is done. And lucky last is, as the rain starts, and I'm gonna have to run inside again, Pink Berkeley tie-dye. Very excited about this one. This is one that I heard from Gaz Oakley on his YouTube channel. Okay, done. So that's all our indeterminates. Do these ones first because this is just a sun shower. My hair, I promised I did do it at the start of this video, but it's going to look pretty terrible, I think, by the end of this, being caught in all of this rain. So I've got one big standout on this one. It doesn't look the healthiest, but we can always replace it with some of these others if we need to later on down the track. Isn't this fun? And I'm going to get this moved forward once we take these beans out. For now, we're just going to have to work with what we've got. So it's my Mr. Green Frost. And I'm going to have to work out which bits I take off because this definitely has a lot of things shooting off it a little bit. Like that's telling me that that's a more of a determinant structure. But anywho, I'm going to have to trust the process. I googled it. However, everybody, like Dave's Seed down in Tassie, they have a indeterminate Roma from memory, because I had said that the Romas were when I grew them, were indeterminates. No, determinants. Oh my goodness, get it right. Oh no! See, it's lovely when the sun's out. It's just really uncomfortable when it's raining. So this is our red cherry. Take off some of these bottom bits. It's hard to pinch when you've got gloves on. And this one's going to go about here, next to my parsnip. And these were my favourite last year, the red cherries that were in a packet that said black cherries. And lucky last is going to be one of these teeny tiny yellow pears. So the yellow pears were actually on here last time, and I just noticed that that bean is right in my way of where I want to plant this. Can I take it out? Hang on a second. Is it a... Oh no, it's still one that's got plenty. Doesn't have plenty of fruit on it, so it does need to come out anyway, but we'll try and, well, this is only a small teeny. You know what? Oh my goodness, I'm being so over dramatic. It's fine. It's such a tiny plant anyway, so they can both live happily in there. Okay, one side done and only the other side to go. So we meet again on this side, and just to confirm, we're doing this honey drop first, then what did I say? Honey drop, pink bumble, and then black cherry, and then the mystery one at the end. Okay, it appears that I forgot to press record. So I have just put in the black cherry in here, and we are going to now do the pink bumble. So who is the best? We've got lots of flowers on these ones. These two are definitely the best ones. But sometimes the ones that look the best, they look a little bit different when you actually separate them. You can see how strong the plant is. Let's go with this one, even though I think it's borderline which one's better. So this one's going to go at the back, and then again we're going to have to move these frames forward. In fact, these ones are even further back than the other ones were. And this one is going to be a little difficult to work around. We'll just have to dig it in right next to these snow peas, which are completely riddled with powdery mildew. So it's not a massive deal. They have got to go, but I'm not going to remove them until I really, really need to. All right, dare I say, lucky last. Now I did up pot this guy, and I put this little basil in also, just in a little toilet roll. Look at this root ball and how big these roots are. Wowee. A big old hole for this one. And I've just hit my leaf layer from when I redid this garden bed. That's fun. So I want this one right on the end. So I'm gonna have to take a bit of this soil out so I can go right up against, hard against the edge there. And then I can tie it up. Just let it lean on that one for now, I think. What a job, hey? But it's officially done. Probably should have gone a bit deeper, but I did hit the leaf layer, didn't I? All right. Oh, who's this? Oh no. We've got another one. Who was that? Oh dear, okay. I'm gonna have to rewatch the footage and see. Oh no, I've hit this guy as well. Oh, that's my chocolate, Tasmanian chocolate. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see that. Oh, goodness me. Oh, fun and games. Okay, we're done. So I haven't used these clips in some time, so that's exciting to be able to use these for this tomato. Now you'll notice that these are now in the shade, and you can see the sun because it's coming through that olive tree. So if we didn't have that olive tree, you can see how these would still be in sun for another couple of hours. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but they are in shade, and then there is sun pockets around them because that's the sun coming through the leaves of the olive tree. So I'm not sure what time it is now. It must be around 4. So these would still have some sun if we get rid of the tree. Just giving these a little bit of sea salt because they are a little droopy, probably from my rough removal of their roots from their pots. But what a great job to finally have completed. So thank you for coming along on this journey. I think we might tackle the cucumbers next. What do you think? I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Bye. And just as a little bonus, let's get these potatoes planted because I've got this compost out anyway. And I'm going to just do a mix of a couple of the different varieties in here. And the reason being is because that other bag was supposed to be for one of the varieties. However, I've had to use it for those Sungolds. So we will just plant. I believe they were both indeterminates, weren't they? I'll double check it, but I'm pretty sure they were both indeterminates. So we'll put them quite low in the bag. And then at least some of them can get started. Here we go. Alien potatoes going in. Goodbye and good luck. Job done.